Mike,
Yeah,
have you heard of the new sport called quiet tennis?
I haven't.
It's the same as regular tennis without all the racket.
That's good. Art, why can't your nose be 12 inches long?
Why?
It would then be a foot.
Yeah, true. Very good point. Which one is faster? Hot or cold?
I don't know.
Hot. You can catch a cold.
Did you know I only know 25 letters of the alphabet?
No, I didn't know that.
I don't know why.
Yeah. What word starts with E and ends with E, but only has one letter in it?
I don't know.
Envelope.
What's the last thing somebody would want to hear while making love to Willie Nelson?
No idea.
I'm not Willie Nelson.
Oh, nice. We'll see what the censors have to say.
I'm Mike Henderson. I've lived in Loveland since 1994. My position here at ColdJet is business development specialist. For 30 years, though, I was on the road as a regional sales manager. I lived in 4 different states, and I did 10,000 demonstrations, consultations, and installations. In my current role is I'm kind of the company's spokesperson, so I do webinars, public speaking events, education, and I answer the phone. Well, I fell in love with Loveland. Initially, I love the downtown area, all the great stuff to do. I'm a foodie, so I loved all the culinary. But I found that Loveland has a certain chemistry with people, and I have chemistry with the city for some reason, and so I stay here.
Well, welcome to the next episode of the Loveland Exchange. We've got Mike Henderson here from ColdJet, local Loveland-based company. And so we're happy to have you here. Appreciate you taking the time to come out and talk with us.
Yeah, the pleasure's all mine.
So ColdJet, we do a lot of interviews with government officials and things like that. But ColdJet might be one that a lot of people are not familiar with. So if you want, why don't you take a second and just kind of describe what ColdJet is and things like that.
Well, ColdJet, we've been here 40 years in this building. We recently moved across the street. ColdJet is the world's largest manufacturer of dry ice related products. So we manufacture 2 things: machines that make a lot of dry ice, but what we really do is we manufacture this machine that does something very similar to sandblasting. But instead of using sand, we use little pieces of dry ice. The significance of that is that dry ice evaporates, or sublimates rather, leaving no secondary waste stream. So it's this environmentally safe cleaning, blasting, surface preparation tool. We have 100 applications in 52 industries. We have installed 25,000 of them in 38 countries. Our business over here in Loveland grows rapidly. What else would you like to know?
Is that great sales force?
I don't know. I think it's, yeah, probably.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
yes, it is.
Ironically, it's not. You'd think it was something that would fly off the shelf. It's not. It's an expensive technology.
Sure.
And entry-level models are $18,000, and you can spend as much as $70,000. So you have to have quite a problem before you'd invest in one of these. But there are a lot of people out there with very expensive problems.
Yeah. How many employees are at ColdJet?
Well,
so and to add to that question,
yes,
ColdJet is not just a regional company. We're
a global company.
Global, right.
We have bricks and mortar. Well, there's our global headquarters here and manufacturing.
And here is right off Ward's Corner.
Right across the street, right on Ward's Corner, 275. We are about 130 in Loveland. On the planet, we're about 350. We have bricks and mortar in Belgium, Spain, Poland, Denmark, Monterrey, Mexico, Canada, 3 locations in China, 1 in Japan, and Rancho Cucamonga, California.
Oh,
of all places.
Yeah, good old Rancho
Yeah,
Cucamonga.
right.
Lovely place.
Tinkletown.
Nice. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
So I'm the owner of a manufacturing firm. I'm the owner of a car shop.
Yes.
I'm an owner of a asphalt company.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. I mean, I know there's all kinds of different applications for
Sure.
it. Why would I want to use ColdJet's technology for, I'm going to say, maintenance and things like that?
Okay. Well, dry ice is non-toxic, non-corrosive, non-abrasive, non-conductive. Okay. So let me use a better scenario. Let's say you're going to make a tire. Okay, tires are made in a great big heavy mold that is hot. And so it's a clamshell. So it opens up, you throw a green tire in there, it closes up, it molds into the shape of the tire, then you pull it out. You paint into the tread a release agent so that the tire releases. Okay. When the release agent loses its properties, the tire's blemish. You can't sell a blemished tire. So one has to cool this thing down from 380 degrees. It's heavy, so they have to unbolt it all, get a crane, take it over there. They sandblast it. Okay, well, the sand is hard on the aluminum, so it wears the lettering. All right. Secondly, it clogs up the vents that are necessary for it to expand out. So now you got to drill them all out. And then you have to landfill the sand. All right. So this whole thing, to take it all apart, put it over there, bring it back, and put it back together, takes 12 hours. All right. I can clean one while it's hot online in 11 minutes.
Yeah, okay.
So the tire maker makes an extra 3,500 tires per press per year with 0 tool wear, 0 landfill. And so it's with any molded product, Barbie doll heads, dog bowls, shoe soles, anything on a car from bumper to bumper is made in a mold. The engine is cast in a mold, the tire, the fenders are stamped, everything's welded. We clean welding jigs. There are, so if you want to clean things while it's electrified online, you'd buy ColdJet.
Oh, okay. So if I'm hearing you correctly, the technology may be a little more expensive on the front end, but my cost savings is less downtime, less replacing of my equipment and things like that.
Well, and the other thing is, American manufacturers historically never really did any housekeeping. Because, in the old days, there was probably a union rep that said, you're not going to bring anybody in here to clean this thing. We'll have that's a union job, and the union will do it. Of course, they didn't do it. So we just became a culture that American manufacturers let the plant get dirty. And now, today's manufacturers have Asian and European customers or management that won't tolerate an unsightly plant. They just won't buy anything from you. So there's a hot mess to clean the plant up and present it better. And this is the way to do it because it's non-conductive. You can clean everything while the plant's running without shutting everything down or restarting everything. The cost to shut the plant down and restart it is enormous.
Yeah, the accountants don't like when the plant's shut down.
Who knows? If you could be over here making shoe soles, and that line might be making $50,000 a minute or something.
I actually had the opportunity to listen to your webcast a few days ago. Very interesting and and I actually, who says you can't teach a dog some new tricks? I actually learned a few new things, especially people like to ask interesting questions, but I already kind of knew that.
Yeah.
But so like the one thing that was interesting to me was, correct me if I'm wrong, that it's strong enough to get the job done on some pretty tough jobs, but it's gentle enough.
That is correct.
Yes, and where you kind of got me with that was you were talking about like old Z-Bart being put on the bottom of cars and things like that. That once you put that on there, it's a job if you want to get it off of there, right?
It's like flossing a cat.
And you were talking, I can't remember what you said, you could do the entire bottom of a car in a few hours, right?
I did the bottom, yeah. Couple hours.
Without tearing up the bottom of the car.
Right, it looks
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, the machines. I mean, we can adjust the aggression of it. I can turn it up and cut a 2x4 in half, or I can take the M off an M&M.
Yeah.
All right. So when you're talking about doing cars, you know, a detail guy in a detail shop, if you take the polishing out of it, can maybe do 2 cars a day. Yeah. Okay. Now he's doing 5, 6 a day.
Yeah. Once again, pays for itself.
Yeah.
How's it doing on age spots? You know,
well, if you
some
have
cosmetic
liver spots on your liver spots,
you can take care of that, huh?
go just retire.
All right, we'll talk about that at a later date.
Right,
How's
yeah,
that sound?
right.
So you've been with the company how long?
In March was 31 years.
Yeah, good for you. Good for
I'm the
you.
most tenured field applications guy on the planet.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
The therapy's going well.
Well, and I'll give you the therapy's going well. See, and I will give you kudos. Like really, the webcast number 1 was very well done.
Thanks.
The graphics and all that were included in it were very well done.
We have an amazing team.
Definitely educational. I mean, I'm a finance guy, so I'm not sure exactly. You know, maybe I can clean up some people's portfolios with it. I'm not sure, but. Yeah, that was very well done. So kudos to that. And let me kind of hit you with one. 2 things. One, why is ColdJet actually in Loveland, Ohio?
Well, it's funny you should ask. Okay, so in the 70s, the government was giving away all this federal research money for companies that wanted to R&D better ways to strip paint from aircraft. Okay, you know, you paint an aircraft. It's here, it goes up here, it comes down here, and it affects the paint. So they get repainted a lot. And the process to clean it is to spray it all down with methachloride and put it in a hanger and squeegee it all down. And then that gets all collected, and then it gets processed, and it's an amazing amount of methachloride. It's an environmental disaster. So Lockheed Martin had got their fingers in this money, and they came up with several processes, this being one of them. But also from that school came all these green technologies like baking soda blasting and walnut hull blasting, but they all had secondary waste streams. Dry ice was the only one that didn't have any, and they really wanted it to work. But guess what? Didn't work. A, it doesn't remove good paint. Okay. B, it was dinging up the skins. Okay, well, so now it's a technology looking for stuff to do. Well, one of those guys on that team had a son in Loveland, Ohio, who was MacGyver, and he could build stuff. He had a daughter who married a guy named Newell Crane, and Newell was a Lovelander, and he had an office across the hall here. And he was the first person to ever do second party Part B Medicare billing. And so he had this cash cow and accounting firm over here and space in the back. So they moved here and built one in the back of this building. And back then it was enormous. And it had to make the ice and everything, and it was take 2 semis to run it. And they were, you know, $500,000. So the people who bought them were the risk takers of the world, the government and stuff like that. But it evolved, and equity changed hands, and it turned into a cash cow.
Yeah, there's always a story behind an individual, behind a company. Like there's a history there that most people, maybe you never find out, or you find out too late, you know, things like that.
Yeah.
So that's great. So I guess the only other thing I was going to ask you was, so let's say you use 500 pounds, which I got from the webcast, 500 pounds of pellet-sized dry ice, right, which you guys manufacture.
Well, we do. We manufacture the machine that manufactured them.
Okay.
But we don't really have a dry ice delivery business here.
Okay.
Because we want to sell them to those companies, and they won't buy them if they have to compete with us. But we're a manufacturer. We don't want to. We're not really a delivery company.
Okay. So you take that dry ice, 500 pounds. You use 500 pounds of dry ice,
Yes.
and you clean somebody's wall or something.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. That dry ice evaporates. Is that, am I saying this right? Sublimates. That's a big word
Evaporation
for me.
is water to vapor.
Okay.
Sublimation is gas to solid to gas.
Okay. So it disappears.
Yeah, it goes away.
So you don't have 500 pounds of used dry ice that now you got to figure out something to do with it.
Exactly.
Basically, you have to clean up whatever mess you have from whatever you stripped off.
Well, imagine.
Right? Okay.
Well, okay, way back when we did all the Metro rail cars in Chicago. They were covered in lead paint. And now that paint would come off. It was poorly adhered, failing paint. Well, if you sandblast that car, the paint with a contaminated lead in it was 50 drums. All right? 50 drums. 1,000 a drum, and that was 20 years ago, goes to the landfill. If you just had the paint chips, 1 drum.
Okay.
So $50,000 to $1,000 a car.
Right.
It's enormous when you start taking the secondary waste stream out of the equation.
That makes perfect sense. So let me, obviously,
and they make nice gifts, weddings.
Oh, nice. Yeah, if I'm looking for a $25,000
right.
dry ice machine for...
Great job on the gutters.
I may know someone getting married. Let me check with him and see if he wants one. And his answer will be yes.
Yeah, 2.
But, 2, yeah. So obviously I have not spent 31 years in this business. So is there anything that I should ask you, or is there anything that you think is important for people to know, not only maybe about the process, but just about the company and maybe how you guys interact with Loveland, Ohio and things?
Well, sure. Well, the company, the blast thing is really interesting, but the dry ice production is also a great big deal. We've always made these because our customers needed the ice in strategic places. But when COVID came along, we're not really cleaning much.
All right.
But guess what? All that serum and medicine had to be shipped on dry ice.
Right.
And what saved our behinds were people that were shipping food.
Right.
Omaha Steaks,
Sure.
Butcher Block, Chewy's, and Pfizer.
Yeah.
Pfizer.
Lots of ice cream.
Lot of ice cream. Well, yeah, to be honest.
Yeah.
We do work with tons of dairies.
Yeah.
But the Pfizer was a big deal.
Okay.
They gave us
Makes
a
sense.
big check to produce, and they lost 0 product. 0.
Right.
And so that was the other thing. What was the other part of your
Just maybe how you guys interact with Loveland.
Oh,
or anything like that.
we entertain downtown. Years ago, I was involved. I had some guys here from Adelaide, Australia. I also entertain at the company in my new role.
I can see that.
Yeah, it's one of my things. But anyway, I had some guys here from Adelaide, and they were in the construction business. And I'd taken them to the castle, and they had a jar there that said, "Help save our roof." And they're like, "Well, what's wrong with your roof?" They said, "Well, we've got a rubber roof on there. There's 4 layers. We can't get the adhesive off. If we can't get the adhesive off, we can't put the coating on we want." They said, "Hey, Mike."
Sure, okay.
So I arranged for them to have a free machine. I got someone to donate the ice. I got someone to donate the compressor, save their roof. When I walk over there, they want to carry me around on their shoulders. When the fire happened downtown, the end that was savable over Ramsey's, because they had sprinklers, again, I donated all the equipment and trained the guys, and they were able to clean the soot from there.
That's huge.
That was a big deal.
Yeah.
Do you know the current mayor gave me the key to the city?
Yeah.
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 And I have it I should have brought it with me. But it's this big.
That's right. Well, you carry it around with you everywhere you go, right? So yeah,
No.
exactly. Mike,
But anyway, that's how. Yeah.
Good. Number one, know you're a busy guy. You've got some webcasts to do and some things to sell. So, no, very, very interesting. Like,
Thank you.
this is something. This is what I would say if I said to the majority of people, "Do you know this company and do you know what they do and what does that mean?" Generally, the answer might be no. So,
Maybe.
I think this is very, very interesting stuff,
Yeah.
and it's right here. It's another company that you don't necessarily know about that's doing something interesting and it's sitting in your backyard.
Yes.
So I appreciate you coming
Well,
in and
and
sharing
thanks.
that
And
with
we
us.
like to give tours. If you're curious about ColdJet, you call me. I generally answer the phone, and I'll give you a tour of the plant.
Website address?
ColdJet.com, ColdJet.com.
That's pretty straightforward. Even I can remember that. So yeah, that's good. Best of luck with the webcast and
More to come.
Yeah, more to come. Looking forward to it. I want to learn a few more tidbits.
Good.
So all right, thanks for being here.
Great, thanks.
Thank you, Mike.
So Arta and Mike, we got this product from JumboJet. What you're gonna do is you're gonna ask Mike a 3 questions regarding what true and false
Okay.
financial question, and then if you get all right, and he's probably gonna pass on it, and you're gonna try it. But if you get wrong, then he has to try it.
Well, I'm going to come up with some tough ones. All right. True or false, Mike?
Okay.
Bitcoin is a purely digital, not a physical coin.
True. Wait. False.
True that it's false or false that it's true?
It's not purely digital.
Okay. You are correct. Yeah, well done. Well done. So, all right, so here we go. Peach, question mark.
Wait a minute. Here.
Got it. There we go. All right. Oh, that's bad. That's really bad. That's good. That's bad. All right. Okay. Not near as bad as I thought it was going to be. Oh, that's bad. Mike,
Yes.
true or false?
Okay.
Closing an old credit card can hurt your credit score.
True.
Now you are right again. You won't be right next time. All right. Pomegranate or an old bandage? Yeah. That's, can I use the word interesting? All right. I don't want you to be left out. I want you to have some fun too.
Me too.
Mike, true or false?
Okay.
FDIC insurance covers up to $250,000 per depositor per bank.
True.
That says true, but I'm going to say it's false because it's per account.
Okay.
So you could have, so a depositor could have 2 accounts, and that would be so. So I'm going to make sure that you lose.
Okay,
And
good. It looks like wants me to have a black one, which will either be licorice or burnt rubber. Oh boy. Oh, there's 2 of them. All right.
you probably should eat them both, just for a fact. Just kidding.
It's like cleaning a Weber grill with your tongue.
There you go.
It's bad.
Yeah, that'll work. All right. Is that what you were looking for?
That was awful.
So, Mike, this is a little bit of, obviously, a little bit of having some fun.
Sure.
A little bit informative
Yes.
and things, learn a few
Yeah.
nice things, but then this is also a finance
Right.
show.
Okay.
So I understand you have
do
a
have a
question
question.
for me.
Yeah. Well, the reason I ask, I hear commercials on the radio. I listen to radio a lot, and also I have a friend who's comes from wealth. He buys gold. Should people buy gold, and why? And why?
Okay.
And how does that work?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of ways to get into gold.
Okay.
Interestingly enough, there are large box stores here that are now selling gold bars to people. So that's one way. They're very hard to get a hold of because
my pal has gold in his house.
yeah, it's hard to carry around though. That's the problem. So if you're using it as an investment, which at times can be appropriate, the nice thing about gold is it should do a good job of protecting you in bad times. So it's a flight risk kind of investment, right? You want to. Things are going bad. Let's take 2008, the Great Recession. The world was doing very poorly everywhere. There wasn't really a good place to hide. Gold went from like $600 an ounce to $1,800 an ounce during that period. So you actually would have done very well if you held gold. So there are times where you want to hold gold, but also there's times when you might not want to hold it. So actually having physical gold, in my opinion, physical gold is worth what someone's willing to pay you for. Now there is a market there, and it's a pretty big market, but someone's always going to take 10% off the top when you sell it to them. They're going to take 10%. When you sell it back to them, right? There are what's known as exchange traded funds, which is a securitized mutual fund. So you can actually buy the equivalent of a mutual fund that invests in gold, and you can get in and out of that in 30 seconds. is very easy. So yeah, there are times where gold is a good investment. There is a good solid market for it and things like that. It's just not something that me personally, I want to hold all the time. Okay, because it's like any other investment. It has great years and it has bad years. So it's been doing very well here as of late with the threats of tariffs and high inflation and things like that. Talk to your financial advisor, but I'm not sure I would go running out buying gold right now. So yeah, but yeah, that's a great question because there's a lot of moving parts to that.
Well, and this guy, my friend who, he's got a secret safe in his house, and it's in there. And he's not really a prepper or anything, but he is like, what if something happens?
What's your friend's name and address? Just kidding.
Howard Hughes.
Right.
They have.
I mean, there's a substantial number of people that are doing that.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a reason that this big store here can't hold on to them for more than a day, right? And that's once they come out, they're gone. Yeah. People are jumping on it because they're selling them at a reasonable price.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, great question. Thank you.
Yeah. Good. Thanks.
Okay, so Mike's first question was, should he invest in gold? And much like everything in finance, it depends. It depends on the current economic outlook. It depends if we're in a time of uncertainty, because gold is viewed as a safe haven for investors. It's a safe place to go when there is uncertainty because gold tends to fluctuate less. Mike's second part to his question was, how do you actually invest in gold? And there's a couple ways you can do it. I think the hardest way to do it is by actually buying gold. It's difficult because you need to find a place to store it securely, and you also need to insure it, because if you're holding gold bars in your house, that poses a potential risk. Another way that you can invest in gold is buying like a gold ETF, which means that you're buying gold, but you're buying it in paper form. So you're not actually holding the gold. And also it comes with lower transaction costs. For any financial questions, you can feel free to reach out to Jarvis Global Investments.
All right, Mike, once again, I want to thank you for being here. I learned a lot, which is good. It makes things interesting, right?
Great.
And I'd say one more time, it's www.coldjet.com.
Jet.com.
And I don't even know if you have to say
cold like
www.
phrasing, jet like airplane.
There you go.
Jet,
yeah, I'm old. So
because people think I'm saying Kojak.
Kojak, good old Kojak. Yeah, nice.
Nobody knows who Kojak is.
Yeah, I do. I get a lollipop afterwards. Yeah, exactly. So, but I do want to say, number one, thank you for everybody tuning in to the Loveland Exchange. If you have comments, like it, pass it on, share it on social media and things like that. We want to make this show the best show we possibly can. So any input you have would be welcome. So thank you for that. And I do want to give a big shout out. We're filming these episodes actually at Impacting Tomorrow. Impacting Tomorrow. You can find it on the web also, but they are doing amazing things in the community with those who are food insecure and things like that. So number one, we're thankful for what they're doing, and number two, very thankful for them letting us use their facility today. So again, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time on the Loveland Exchange.